Okay, so what I wanted to talk today about for this week is a very, very important topic in astrology. Probably the most important, or one of the most important aspects of astrology. So if you think about the whole wheel and you're just picking apart a little piece of it, today we're going to pick apart Saturn. And you can learn about Saturn, the planet Saturn, what it means, the traits of Saturn, what it means when it enters this placement or that placement, what is it here to um, do um, for us, how does it affect us, what is it here to teach us, what it is here to motivate us to go in the right direction, because that is the key to Saturn. Because Saturn is a planet that looks at basically, if you think about Saturn, the Lord of Time, and how best we utilize time. And so coming in with it, it asks us, what do we want to achieve in this life? How do we want to get out there into the world, make a difference, and how are we going to accomplish this? What really matters? And what are we going to put our whole heart and soul into and stay the course and never give up? Saturn challenges us. Saturn can be kind of annoying here and there where it, at certain points, Deborah Silverman describes Saturn, who's one of the astrologers I feature below. You can go watch her. And she refers to Saturn as being um, the principal, at like high school. Saturn is a father figure. He is the father figure, and in myth, he ate children. So it gets. It's just think that a lot of things are fascinating because they are twisted and not that it's twisted, but I just think that Saturn, in terms of the planet, I mean, seen a Nova documentary about Saturn, and what really is fascinating about it is the rings of Saturn, which were formed over little um, moons that over time broke up into these little pieces, and then they all formed a ring around Saturn. And if you go, Saturn has no surface; it's all atmosphere, and there's lightning and all those types of things like that, which you can learn about. There's these little diamonds that fall from the sky, and it's very, very cold, but there's something that can warm it. So I was watching a documentary and it was just so fascinating. Um, it really, really is quite something to um, learn further about. And it really is important if you want to know astrology, if want to know what is most important to Deborah Silverman. Saturn is so important that she makes it a huge part of her applied astrology, and just you know how vital it can be to be aware of it and know what it's about and what is my purpose in this life, what challenges do I have to overcome to achieve this? What, you know, how do I choose my own destiny, where I'm going to be going, what I'm going to be accomplishing and achieving, and how am I going to get there? So we have Saturn. It asks us, how disciplined are we? How determined are we to stay the course and put forth excellence, putting forth hard work, really, really giving it our all? Saturn does not settle for just so so, mediocre. No, the high school principal demanding us to be at our best. So if breaking it down through the elements, if you were to come into the principal's office and they asked you, how are you doing with this and this, this area of life, whatever the sign that Saturn is in, whatever element that Saturn is in. If it's air, it has to do with communication. It has to do with expressing yourself through words and relationships. If it's fire, it has to do with your expression, you liberating yourself, bringing forth energy and waking us up. For example, if it's earth, it's practicality, details, building foundations, building from the ground up and being determined and focused and really, really keeping up doing the do things and putting in those practical steps to achieve this and this and this. It's all about the results of what we want to achieve because the results, mean a lot. And Saturn is really all about those results. So, now we're going to be looking at Cancer. What is the sign of Cancer about? Well, Cancer is the fourth sign of the zodiac, and it relates to anything relating to the fourth house because all of the signs relate to the fourth, or excuse me, all of the houses. So if you think about the houses being areas of your life, so 1 through 12, houses 1 through 12, the first house relates to Aries, so that would be yourself, what you are initiating and, you know, asserting yourself in life. So that would be first house, I am. It's the house of you. And then the second house, money or values, etc., etc. So we're not going to look at the houses in this video. I just wanted to look at the individual placement of Saturn in Cancer. So Cancer is the sign that really asks all of us to pay attention to our families and our family dynamic. It has to do with the home, it has to do with where we're coming from, how we're being raised, how we are being nurtured, coming from inside us, the self that is nurtured, loved. Because we could have that, we could have, because I was listening to a really wonderful, um, lively astrologer by the name of Kelly Rosano, who most recently made a grand comeback to her channel. Um, and she was talking about Cancer being the foundation, Cancer being what nurtures you, what makes you feel very, very secure, emotionally secure, because Cancer looks at the family and the ones closest to you, and just being connected in that sort of way. It looks at your mother and how you were nurtured in that regard. Um, so just all those firsthand emotional things. And cancer, the sign Cancer, I know it sounds like, oh, cancer, like that disease, but why is because, they're really healers at their best. They're really emotionally caring and emotionally very, very strong, and using their emotions as a gift rather than complaining like, oh, why am I this? Why am I feeling this way? Why do I have so many feelings? Why can't I just be normal? Why can't how can I stop my feelings? When it's all about using those at the best to, um, to really be involved with the family, really value and care for the family and others in your life, helping them, and also nurturing others, other people, nurturing loved ones. I think the role of a nurse in a hospital is very fitting. If you think about Super Nanny, who is a Cancer sun, Leo moon, so very childlike and wanting to be generous and wanting to give, loving. Leo is heart energy, so that's just put Cancer and Leo together. They actually make quite a wonderful combo together. And they are similar, but they do have their differences. And when they can come together, it really is, um, a character, a figure like Super Nanny. So, think about nurses that care their patients and all of that, and want to care for children, and um, understand and want to help, want to heal. This is Cancer at its best. This is Saturn in Cancer at its best. And I also want to touch on the symbols. So, again, home, family, foundations, lineage, sensitivity. We're looking at the crab. We're looking at the crab now. Um, and as the crab being the symbolism for Cancer. So, the crab, if you think about a crab on a beach, who plucks something from the ocean, holds it tight in its claws, buries it in the sand, keeps it safe, protects it from the ocean waves that come rolling in. And that is, I mean, the whole picture of that, the moon, emotions and all of those types of things, intuitions, they're very, very intuitive. It's a very spiritual sign as well. Um, but just the whole symbolism of the waves coming in represent the sensitivity that Cancer has toward the things that go on in the world and others, and situations where they can be very hurt very easily. And you know, Cancer. I was reading that Cancer in the book of Cancer sun signs that it was known as crybabies. The zodiac, because of the sensitivity there, because of the vulnerability there, the feminine human quality of being human and feeling and having emotions and going through life based off of your feelings, because they make decisions, do things based off of their feelings uh, in life. So it's really coming to terms with your emotions, and instead of withholding, and instead of having that reserve and down, just holding all those things inside, then it really is about releasing all of that, and really merging with your feelings and not resisting it, not bypassing it, but just delving into, dropping in with spiritual self-care. Meditation is wonderful for Saturn and Cancer. Positive affirmations. When you say an affirmation, you repeat a saying over and over again enough until you feel it. Meditation calms your mind, connects you to the divine, all of that. Journaling. One of the wonderful recommendations I have, just in general, and it would be very, very beneficial and healing for Saturn and Cancer, is to journal about or to open up to others in a in a community of people. This is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm thinking, this is what is going on. And it doesn't have to be just bad things. It doesn't have to be like I'm struggling, I'm sad, and this and that. But it can be just in general positivity, letting loose and expressing yourself in general. I don't want to specigen on an occasion. So put Saturn in the sign of Cancer. Oh, and also I want to, know another thing, say another thing that, it can hold, can really be the mother who's holding very, very tight to its emotions, to the things that it really, really cares about. Devoted, loyal, will not let it go. When a crab holds on to something, buries it, it will keep it safe, protected. It is loyal to the core when it comes to the objects, or in this case, think of, a mother with, her children, and birthing her children from, the womb where she birthed her children. Um, the mom loves her children. The mom will do anything for children, wants to raise her children to become um, wonderful people and, self-sufficient, all of that. But there's a nurturing quality that the mom will not let anything bad happen to the children, anything negative, um, or you just won't let them get hurt. So it's that type of um, relationship, feelings and desires that Cancer has. So, uh, and also, if you get crabs, lobsters, like if you, let's say you were to buy them at the store and you were boiling them, let's say, well, you would go to a grocery store and you would find that the claws, or excuse me, yeah, pretty sure that they would be cut off. The claws could be tight, but they can also pinch if there's a rejection, or if there's something or a situation or someone that really, really hurts, um, and causes harm, and put an emotional wound, um, and just really negatively affects someone with a lot of cancer, someone with uh, Saturn in Cancer, um, is that the claws can pinch, just like the tail of a scorpion, representing Scorpio, can sting with poisonous venom. But if you had to weigh them, what would be worse? What would be, more harmful? Well, I think that's maybe there's a lot of things about the claws of crabs I don't know about, but and you can certainly do your own research about that. However, I don't think that you know they would be too harmful. So, the high road is mastering and serving others with an emotional sensitivity and nurturing, being the healer, being because Cancer is a cardinal sign. The cardinal